The last sound I remember before everything changed was the plastic cake container cracking in my fist. Snow still clung to my coat, melting into the hardwood as I stood in the entryway of our home. Her home now, technically, though that distinction hadn't existed in my mind until that moment. My boots squeaked on the floor. They didn't hear me over the laughter. "God, I hope he crashes," she said, her voice syrupy and full of that venom only the loved can conjure. "I could use the insurance." A snort. Then her friend Casey, I think. Or maybe Carly. Or at least a few months of silence. Laughter. Unapologetic. Honest. I didn't drop the cake. I set it down on the counter, carefully, right next to the wine bottle I bought on the drive up. She liked red. Pinot Noir. I used to think that meant something. I didn't confront her. Not then. What was there to say? I left before sunrise. No note. No goodbye. Just the faint smell of wax and frosting lingering in the cold kitchen air. 2 weeks later, she was panicking. Calling. Texting. The voicemail messages started polite. Concerned. Then confusion. Then anger. Then desperation. I listened to them all. I didn't respond. We were married 6 years. The first 3 were light, golden, untouched by the dark corners of real life. I gave her everything: time, stability, the quiet kind of love that builds, not burns. She said she wanted a man with roots, not fire. I gave her both. Or so I thought. In hindsight, the cracks were there. Her smiles didn't reach her eyes anymore. She stayed late at work. She said her mother needed her more often than usual. The lies weren't big, they never are at first. They come soft, dressed like concern, cloaked in routine. But I saw them. I just didn't want to believe them. She didn't notice the old laptop was missing from the attic. She didn't know it still had the login credentials for our shared cloud drive. Photos, call logs, app passwords. Her phone synced automatically. She didn't think I knew about the second bank account, or that her sister had been slipping during family dinners. Little things, mentions of weekends we hadn't taken. Restaurants I'd never been to. A smirk too wide. So I started writing everything down. Times, names, patterns. A digital trail of betrayal, laid out like a puzzle only I had the patience to complete. And when it was done, when I had enough to tear her world apart, I smiled for the first time in days. I hired a lawyer who didn't wear ties. The kind who wore sweaters with holes and smiled like a shark. She loved cases like mine, quiet men with sharpened teeth. While my wife thought I was gone to cool off, I was rewriting our financial story, transferring the house into a trust, isolating accounts, filing paperwork she'd never seen, using power of attorney she drunkenly signed on our anniversary last year. She didn't read the fine print. Most people don't. Then I waited for the perfect moment. It was her birthday again, exactly 1 year later. I made sure of it. She was hosting friends at the same house. I didn't need to be invited. My name was still on the deed. The party was in full swing when the screen outside lit up. I had emailed a video to every guest. It opened with her voice clear, cruel, undeniable. "God, I hope he crashes." Then photos. Screenshots. Bank statements. A voicemail from her lover, Brandon, her coworker, married. Their whispered plans to wait until things calmed down. The living room went silent. A slow, stunned horror settled over the party like falling ash. And then I walked in. Black coat. No smile. I didn't speak. I didn't need to. I simply handed her a small envelope. Inside, divorce papers. Finalized. Everything legally hers except the house. The savings. The car. Her reputation. I nodded once. Happy birthday. She reached for me. Her voice cracked. You don't have to do this. I looked her in the eyes. You already did? Word spread fast. Brandon's wife received a copy of the footage, courtesy of a USB drive I left in her mailbox. His job didn't survive the scandal. Neither did his marriage. My ex-wife moved into her sister's basement. She tried to sell her side of the story to a podcast. No one cared. Her friends? They stopped answering her calls. Me? I bought a cabin 3 states over. No neighbors. No birthdays. Just quiet. People ask if I ever miss her. I don't. What I miss is the man I was before that night before the snow, the silence, the laughter. But that man died somewhere between the bottle of wine and the unopened cake. And honestly, he was too soft for this world anyway.